Before we talk about the Russian Revolution, let's define the Russian Revolution.
In 1917, with the help of two revolutions, the March and the November Revolution, the imperial system that was established in Russia, that was led by the Tsar, Nicholas II, was taken down by the Bolshevik Party. It changed the way of government by establishing Russia as the USSR and turning it into a communist nation.
Now that we know what the Russian Revolution was, our idea is, without the Great War, the Russian Revolution would have been impossible.
Our objective are to analyze how did the Great War influence the revolution,
as well as recognize the factors that triggered the Russian Revolution,
and show the impact of the Russian military during the revolution. Russia's government was dominated by the Tsarist autocracy, which claimed political authority that was divine rather than popular.
The Russian people were already dissatisfied and eager for change. At the start of the war, Russia was a very vast empire with a large army but was politically and industrially backward.
Russia had a major role in World War I. The nation was part of the alliance that was fighting against the Central Powers that were led by the German army. This led to many confrontations with Germany, Prussia, and the Austro-Hungarian Empire. These confrontations had an impact on the economy of Russia as they invested lots of money and army into the war. Most of the military during the war was commanded by Tsar Nicholas II.
By the start of 1917, Russia's domestic economy had collapsed and both food and fuel were critically scarce in Russian cities. This triggered the March and November revolutions, uprisings which led to the abdication of the Tsar.
As a result of the defeats that Russia had during the war, taking into account that the country had one of the biggest armies of it, made the soldiers realize that there was an error on the way the Tsar was commanding the troops, as well as it led the soldiers questioning themselves what was the real purpose of the war. As a consequence, at the end of the war, when there was an uprising of the Bolshevik Party, the soldiers were in favor of it, because they believed the Tsar wasn't the right person to control the country.
As a result that most of the men had to go to war, their wives and the rest of the women took over their daily routine. Even though this will eventually lead into a positive event in Russia's history, the March Revolution, still the economy decreased in a significant form. Russians affirmed that this decline of the economy was due to the poor management of the Tsar, who was in front of the situation. The disorganized and unprepared army that Russia possessed during the war was led by an incompetent superior that had little knowledge of strategies. Thus, this caused a large portion of the military army whom survived the war to rise against the Tsar due to poor decisions made during World War I. To conclude, the rather disappointing results of the First World War in regards to the Russian position, as well as the accented discomfort of the 98% of the population, gave the Russian people all the reason needed to start to revolt. So without the war, people would have to continue to live as they had until the point, as there was no trigger to ignite the fire in the hearts and souls of the Russian people that will eventually lead to the emancipation of their country.